Semi-final Saturday at the Dafabet Masters, and we've dragged Dave Hendon out of the Eurosport commentary box round the back like a pit pony, coming out into the bright lights and the glitz and the glamour of Ali Pali. Dave, I think it's been one of the most enjoyable editions of the Dafabet Masters we've had for years. So many shocks and upsets, and who would have thought we'd have Murphy and Carter coming out for the first semi?
Well, I wonder if anyone would have actually predicted this semi-final lineup. I certainly didn't. My tip was John Higgins, and a lot of the other favourites, of course, have fallen away. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting today. There's a big prize up for grabs, literally, of course, £250,000, chance to be Masters champion. Of course, only Shaun Murphy so far has done that. So the other three looking to land one of the big ones. Ali Carter shouldn't be here, should he? Ronnie O'Sullivan should be here, and he's really grasped the lifeline with both hands. It's a great story. He's really battled as well. It wasn't a pretty match with John Higgins, but, you know, we saw the grit again from Carter. He'll need it again, I think, this afternoon.
It's got the makings of an amazing tale, hasn't it? Because, as you've said, there's 250 grand on the line. How strange would it be, or how poetic would it be, if Carter was able to win 250,000, benefiting from the absence of the guy who denied him 2 world titles?
Amazing, isn't it? He's sort of become a Trivial Pursuit answer in future years, you know, who won the Masters when they weren't actually in the tournament. Yeah, it's sort of had that feeling that it might happen. It's one of those sort of fatalistic things. Actually, Ronnie is in the Eurosport studio for us, and he actually said that. It's almost like fate. Maybe he might like a percentage, I don't know, the winning.
Yeah, no chance.
I think the point is, with, you know, we know with Ali, on and off the table, he will fight, you know, really, really hard for everything. I mean, against Higgins, until the last frame, his highest break was 35, but he was potting the key balls, he was winning the pressure frames, and that's what you've got to do in these big tournaments. I mean, it's an unbelievable arena, this is. Obviously, you know, 2,000 people in, all the TV viewers, a lot of pressure, but he's been standing up to it really, really well when some of the fancy players have dropped away.
Interesting from Murphy's point of view, he had an awful season last year. He was all over the place, and I've done an interview with him this week, and he said he was just spread too thin, too many commitments. I think the big win in China was massive. Said he went back to his dressing room and was in tears because he suddenly thought, wow, I can actually do this again. And he'll fancy this because he knows what it takes to get to the final. He's lost a final here, but he's also won a final here, and this is where he completed the crown. He'll be up for this.
Definitely, and I think obviously that is his one advantage over everyone else. He's won it before, so he and he won it really well against Neil Robertson. He won 10-2 in the
He thrashed him, didn't he?
Yeah. So he's done it before. Again, he's maybe not played his best snooker so far, but he's won the key frames. He was pretty solid, I thought, against Joe Perry. Obviously beat Trump, which was a massive win in the first round. And Shaun has been talking himself about the fact that, you know, he's a big snooker fan. We know that. If he wasn't playing, he'd be watching. And he's thinking back to when he was 11, 12. You know, the Masters is on TV. I'm going to watch it. Now he's playing in the semi-final, so he's not going to lack for motivation.
The other semi-final, who on earth last night when he was trailing, you know, 4-1 and 4-2, who on earth would have predicted Stuart Bingham? By the way, we are still here. If it's got a little bit dark, they're jiggling around with the lights. Don't worry, you can still hear us and actually not being able to see us. Yeah, it's probably a bonus. 2 faces for radio who ended up on TV. Anyway, who would have predicted Bingham coming back against Kyron Wilson? Because no disrespect to Stuart, he's had an awful season. He's only made 1 ranking event quarter-final. He pulled that out of nowhere. Massive win.
It was a massive win. It wasn't the prettiest match, I think it's fair to say. It was a late night finish. The lights were going out as well last night after midnight. Yeah, again though, you know, he's similar to Shaun Murphy, isn't he? You know, loves snooker, and maybe just being at the Masters sort of pulled him through. And again, of course, okay, he's not won this, but world champion, so he knows what it's like to win a really big title. I think it's only his 2nd time in a semi-final at the Masters, so
yes,
he's underperformed in this tournament. I think Kyron will be very disappointed, you know, to have let it slip, but massive chance again for Bingham, you know, tonight and maybe tomorrow.
But let's talk about the 4th semi-finalist, the debutant. Dave Gilbert has been absolutely sensational here this week. What a way to start against Mags with that 144 highest tournament break. He could become a really, really big British star, I think, because there's an everyman accessible quality about him. But here's a question for you, Dave. You commentate on so much snooker. Do you think he now finally truly believes that he belongs at this level, or is he still a little bit of a wide-eyed tourist?
Well, he's playing like he believes he does. I mean, the first round we were wondering, you know, he's on his debut, will he fall flat? He didn't, he played brilliantly. Second round we were saying, can he follow that up? Came out 1-4-4 in the first frame. Finished it off well, you know, there was a little bit of pressure. He maybe should have won 6-1, 162. So far he's shown that belief. Problem is, of course, the pressure intensifies every round you go. The money goes up as well, by the way. You double your money, but you're getting nearer to the finals. Only 2 days left, so we will see maybe if he really does have the belief. I think he should do. He's playing superbly. He's been knocking on that door so much. Surely it's got to open eventually. And wouldn't it be wonderful for him if he won it here? And you're quite right what you say. He does have a very relatable quality. It's not a contrived persona. He's a normal down-to-earth person. He's had tough times. He's spoken about them. He's had this thing called a real job that a lot of snooker players maybe haven't had. And he appreciates the opportunities. And what an opportunity here.
It certainly is. Thanks very much, Dave. We'll be looking forward to listening to your great commentary later today. Semi-final Saturday, Dafabet Masters. First up, Murphy and Carter. Then it's Bingham against Gilbert. It's all to play for. Don't take your eyes off the climax of this tournament for one single second.